What's the biggest scam people still fall for? The old pyramid scheme still works despite being old, and every tray of it being widely known. Sometimes you can't beat a clique. As long as there are stupid people to take advantage of stupid people to take advantage of stupid people, and so on and so forth, thus adding to the great chain of life. These Facebook posts imitating real companies saying you'd win whatever they're offering, despite the page being created hours ago and the only post being said giveaway. The comments are always tragic to read. For some reason the really popular ones I see are free RV or free tiny home. When my friends repost the posts I have to hold my tongue lol. I have several clients that fell for the scamware when you do a password reset on a bank website and they text you a code to complete the password reset and the scammer calls you for the code. If you receive a code via text, never tell it to someone else. And worse, texts from Google Voice to take over your phone number. I've worked on payroll systems for over 30 years, so I've seen a lot of scams, but this one is one of the worst. Do you have a moment to talk about your car's factory warranty? Just bought a new 4Runner immediately. Started getting calls on my cell phone. Those duckers spoof local hashes tricking me into answering all the time dastards. Not gonna lie, I attended one of those pyramid scheme meetings at my friend's insistence and man it was filled with low income people and the whole thing was clearly targeted at them. Felt really bad seeing how they were being sold dreams of earning a lot of money and stuff. Such a scam. My first ever job interview turned out to be an MLM. I was pissed. Mobile games which are designed to be bad, so they can frustrate you enough to buy their currency. Failing that, the game will feature spam clicking until you run out of energy, which will spawn a buy more energy pop-up, hoping you will buy lots of it by accident. I tried one that mathematically requires you to spend money to progress after a certain point. It looks possible, but when you run the numbers it's clear there is no amount of grinding or daily logins to make enough in-game currency for the next stages. Those Microsoft scam calls. It works so well that they have offices LMAO. I got a call from one of those. When the lady told me to turn on my computer I replied that I don't have a cordless phone and the cord wasn't long enough to reach my computer, then sat there in awkward silence for a minute or so until she hung up. Before you think ill of me, I was on a corded phone, so it wasn't a total lie. Those phone calls that claim your social security number is suspended due to criminal activity. My own mom fell for this unfortunately. Edit. Whoa, did not expect this post to blow up. Tips to avoid this kind of scam. If you live in the US, your SSN will never get suspended. SSA/FBI/ICE will contact you directly through mail, not by phone. Scammers are experts on phone spoofing. The phone numbers may look legit, but they're not calling from them. Don't panic if a scammer does have your information. It was all obtained through hacking a website where you filled out a form. Be sure to clear auto form filled data. Always have strong, hard to guess boards. Never confirm any personal data, even if it's 100% correct over the phone. They want you to verify this. Pay attention to unusual background noise. Our scammer played a blaring siren noise after transferring the call to the police during the entire conversation. My mom only figured out it was a scam when she heard background noises of an Indian street. No one will call saying you're going to be arrested. Arrests only happen in person with an arrest warrant signed by a judge. Government agencies do not take payments through gift cards, nor ask for the codes and pins when you deposit money on them. Gov agencies won't stay on the line with you the entire time you're withdrawing and depositing money, especially past business hours, at all. Always have antivirus software. Viruses are the common way to steal your data and scam you. Sorry to hear she fell for it. My adult kid asked me what they needed to do to get their SS unsuspended. I was glad they asked me first. Me, well, I think you need to check with the federal government birth date oversight office about that. If your social security number was suspended, they will need to issue you a new birth date. Once that is completed, then your social security number can be released. Adult child, so can I still use my number while it is suspended, or is that illegal? Me, well, if you use it while it's suspended, the birth date oversight office may need to aid you new parents. But that is a fairly easy process at this point. It's just an electronic form. Adult child. Okay, so can you help me call her? Wait. What? Oh geez. Okay, so is the suspension real or not? Okay, so I'm guessing you will be filing the request for new parents for me? Yep. Seems I've failed you. Nigerian Prince MLs. I can't believe people still fall for them, but apparently it's a multi-million-dollar industry. When the son of the deposed king of Nigeria MLs you directly, asking for help, you help his father and the freaking country. Okay. Reddit gold. Argentium is much worse. It's $50 IRL for basically nothing. Weight loss pills and weight loss tea. And in this vein, detoxifying teas, shakes, etc. that claim to clear years of sludge and fecal buildup out of your intestines, which will boost weight loss. If you had fecal matter building up in your GI tract, you'd know about it, and your pants size would be the least of your concerns. You'll get a job at X organization if you pay X amount. It's always a scam. You never have to pay someone to work for them. Edit. Since I work in its sector, I was talking about that. This happens especially more to fresh out of college folks looking for a job. You have to pay Mr. Krabs. Online charlatans that will share their secrets if you buy their course. Alright, here's my secret to getting rich. Step 1. Get people to think you have a secret to getting rich. Step 2. Make them pay you for the secret. There is no step 3. Hey babe. I've just come into some really great opportunities with this amazing team of women, and since that opportunity is still available, of course I thought of you. They're looking for hardworking ladies who want to empower each other by starting their own businesses. I know that sounds scary, but just wait until you see the paycheck at the end of it. You can be your own boss and take control of your fin and lol, just kidding, could you imagine? I've been getting so many of these recently. The number of them just alone give me zero confidence in whatever they are pushing. Multi-level marketing, doTERRA, Herbalife, all that shiz. Stay away. Having to share at least your email address, plus permission to mail, with any company that you want to purchase a product from or interact with, just so they can spam your inbox with garbage marketing campaigns. Sure, you can unsub, use a non-primary email address, etc. But I still hate it. Maybe biased, because I work for one of the world's largest big data marketing agencies. I swear every time I unsubscribe from emails, I just end up getting more, or start getting them from partners that I never signed up for. Expensive coffins, diamond rings, bottled water, timeshare promise. Yeah, what the frack is up with coffins? Hell, the whole funeral thing is expensive and you're guilted into it. BC it was a loved one, and you want to honor them right. I remember when my BFS uncle died, and the family went down to the funeral parlor and his grandmother, mother of the deceased, was just bawling as the officiant went through their options and packages. The grandmother just kept saying over and over in tears, "I don't want you to think we didn't love him or anything, we just don't got a whole lot of money." Made me really bitter toward the whole thing. Buying a timeshare. My friend let me use his timeshare, but I had to attend a meeting to sell me one, but I would receive a free gift for the 5-hour meeting. I had to meet someone first before the bigger meeting. They asked how much I make. I said $20K a year. They said that's not even enough for the free gift. You don't have to attend. Penis enlargement pills. And anything from poor animals on the edge of extinction that proclaim longer staying power and arousal, like rhino horn. Please don't buy this product for curiosity or ingest. Taking photos with the characters in Times Square, New York City. Edit. Thank you for all the upvotes. Honestly, rule of thumb for New Yorkers: if anyone tries to talk to you, they are trying to get money from you. If you tell me the truth, I won't get mad. Mum/dad. We tell our kids, if you lie, you'll be in more trouble than if you had told the truth. We can't afford raises this year. Company that turns around and pays dividends to shareholders and bonuses, massive ones to the executives. Televangelists. One of my favorite Last Week Tonight with John Oliver episodes is the televangelist one. It's shocking how these people can still make stupid bank with all our easy access to information or various other forms of spirituality available with the internet. Jim Ducking Backer. My nephew, who is around 22 or 23 now, is a youth minister. When he first started doing minister training, or whatever it's called, he went to a camp that Jim Bakker and his son own, and trained there for like a year. He's so young that he probably hadn't even heard of what the Bakkers are most famous for, being con artist pieces of chiz, and I never talked about them around him because he was an adult choosing his own path. But man, did I hate it. To this day he's still good friends with Jim's son. A couple months back, Jim Bakker got sued by the state of Missouri for trying to sell a fake coronavirus cure. I guess stealing millions from his own church 30 years ago just wasn't enough. I sometimes think about what happened to all that LuLaRoe. Go to YouTube and search for LuLaRoe documentary. A bunch of videos on it. Suckers are stuck with thousands of dollars of merchandise that are worth nothing now. Even LuLaRoe's storage locations are now abandoned, and there are a bunch of LuLaRoe clothes in boxes, under shade, but it's dirty and wet and degenerating because it was left outside in the rain and dirt. I was in the insurance industry as an auto damages appraiser. The biggest one is the anti-insurance body shop that will fight for you, or that pans itself as a quick fix shop, or that pays your deductible. No, they won't. Every one of those places is going to duck you in the A. Collision repair centers are absolutely 100% in a symbiotic relationship with insurance companies, because so ducking much of their business comes from insurance jobs. If the shop claims to hate insurance companies, run the duck way, because if you use them, your life will get very aggravating very quickly. You are not going to get factory parts for your fender/bumper job on your 2009 or even your 2015 car. The aftermarket fender and recycled fender are the same steel composition and are certified, and it's not a safety issue, and your shop is lying to you when he says it just can't fit, even though I know damn well it does, and that those master certified body repair technicians are more than perfectly capable of straining out floor pans and quarter panels with nothing but elbow grease and an artist's touch, pull hammers, and copper studs. It never has been unsafe. It never will be for external body components. Besides, most legitimate shops just price match because the profit margins on factory parts are stupidly ridiculous anyway. The dealership where your shop gets those parts makes most of its money selling directly to customers like you and me, not body shops who essentially use them as local parts warehouses. Any shop that doesn't make you pay deductible as a standard practice either cuts corners or pees that onto their technicians. Shady chiz is happening, and frankly it is unethical most of the time. I do not know a single sensible business that would strip 100/250/500/1000/ whatever the duck your deductible is off their bill. That is your responsibility as an insured, to pay that to offset your premium and to absorb some of the risk involved in an accident. Any shop that tells you they can take you in immediately, without any prior notice by you, is going to duck your life, especially if you have rental. They are just hoarding cars on backlog, and then charging storage, which is a massive gamble because either you are paying, or the insurance company is paying, and in the end you lose, because, more premiums later down the line. A good shop does not hold your still drivable car, and has a backlog of 1 to 4 weeks, maybe even a month. It is not an inconvenience. Expect this. Getting repairs done at a body shop is exactly like going to a busy restaurant. You know the food is good, and you have to make a reservation, but you ducking. No, there's a reason why the reservation system is in place. Piggybacking on the last bullet point, do not go to a body shop that has commercials. No body shop worth a chiz should have commercials, unless they are a national chain. That is money the shop could be using to train their staff, buy tooling and supplies, and generally making things better for the customer and the product. Remember, a good shop should be getting a severe backlog of customers, so why would they even bother to advertise? Do some ducking research before you go in, and trust your gut. Don't like the receptionist. Don't like the estimator's attitude because he thought you were too stupid to understand the repairs. Ducking leave. You can go to any shop you want by law, but if you can make a match in heaven with the insurance company and your preferences, then your claim, and by extension repairs and your rental, will be handled and approved faster, because in-network shops are connected to the insurance company's claim submission systems and rental car systems, thereby completely abstracting the adjuster out of it for the most part save for updates, approvals on witches, and a checkup on rental. You also receive lifetime warranties on the repairs from the insurance company and also the shop. Once a car was at an in-network shop, the amount of labor went from an hour to less than 5 minutes of review and approval. Seconded. I watched my mom fall for the same guy over and over again. The debts were rising and the same part broke, and when we second checked by another repair place they said nothing was made or the wrong was built in. She just switched after a new car, but it was horror to get her so far. Listen to this user, please. I'll pay in gift cards. Is that okay? Remember, if they don't want to use PayPal, goods and services only, Venmo, or even cash face to face, you're probably being scammed. Looking for one hard worker to replace two who weren't. I love it when the one hard worker leaves and they need to replace them with two people. Online reviews. A huge percentage of them are written by the seller, if good, or by a competitor, if not. Just look at the dates. If they're fake, they'll be in batches where they put out a ton on one day. Scientology. Nice try, Opus. Give us your credit card info, and we'll tell you. Don't forget those 3 wacky digits on the back. Privatizing profits while socializing costs. Example, multi-billion-dollar companies that pay so little their employees are in food stamps. The sauna slim belt was a thing in my country for almost a decade. People never lost an inch of fat, only got marks from the heat which the belt produced. Pure scam. Is your country Finland all that up? Go to college, get good grades and you'll get a good job. Faith healing. Where people are suddenly cured from cancer, blindness, and can walk again through the power of God. This reminds me of that guy who was in the news a few weeks back for telling everyone he was literally blowing COVID away with his breath. I sincerely hope with all my heart that he someday gets run over by an 18-wheeler. Essential oils edit. Not all oils are created equal, I understand. This was aimed at the it heals cancer type people. Edit Gucci, thank you for the award, anonymous person of kindness. I love essential oils, but I don't ever tell anyone that, because of the oil makers and pyramid scheme Karens who market it as miracle cures for everything instead of what they should have, which is hey this cheese makes your house smell good. Free Robux scams. Can I have FORTY and HUNDRED please? Diamond rings. You waste thousands of dollars just for the ring, and if you don't, the idea is that you don't think she's worth anything. Annoys me so much. This is coming from a 22-year-old female. Absolutely, and that diamond mines are horrifically exploitive and dangerous to impoverished workers. As an investment, they can have very low resale value, especially if you need to liquidate it quickly. Coming from the fact that most people are afraid that getting a used ring will somehow make them look bad, that the commercial stores can undercut your sticker price because they can make their money on the back end, financing an expensive purchase usually made by poor young person with few eats and very little extra income, high interest, long terms, and the diamond market is tightly controlled by a small number of mine owners. And your specific stone is rarely that unique amongst the literal tons of them they could get wholesale at market price. Give me $50 and I'll tell ya. Sweet, I'll fax it over. Raid, Shadow Legends. Hot MILFs near you. I fell for it my first time on the hub. What is it really? Herbalife. Going to a 4-year college without a solid plan for future employment. Spending 4 to 8 years on a PhD because you didn't know what you wanted to do, so you thought you'd buy some time. Also comes with a bonus of suffering and depression. I'm sorry, baby. I won't do it again. Oof. When you grow up, you can do what you want. Delete it. Door-to-door magazine sales. No, that kid is not getting sent on a camping trip if you will just buy subscriptions to Boys Life and Wine Aficionado. Most of the time they are a traveling troupe that goes city to city, pulling the same scam each time. Honestly, just door-to-door sales in general are usually a scam. Don't trust the guy trying to sell you a new roof, or a driveway resurface, or a spanking new Hoover vacuum at your front door. Need a new roof or driveway? Call your insurance company and get a list of reputable companies. Even if you aren't filing an insurance claim, they will happily give you the name of several companies that can be trusted. Those traveling troops are often scams on the sellers as well, or actually, more like full-on labor trafficking, moving them from town to town to prevent them from accessing help, confiscating IDs and phones, etc. Source: I knew some people who worked with an anti-trafficking org. Trafficking, including sex trafficking, tends to be grossly misrepresented in the news. Car washes, hear me out. I have never had a pleasant experience at a car wash, unless it was one of those do-it-yourself kind. I work a pretty dirty job, so every so often I need my car to be detailed, and I just don't feel like doing it myself as it needs to be really cleaned. Always go and ask for a basic $20 to $30 detail. I'm more worried about the inside than the outside. I always get attitude from workers, and yes, I have been to many a car washes. All the same, they always want to upsell me on this and that, and when I say no they just huff at me. Then it's never done well. $30 and there is still dog hair all over my trunk. I have actually been scammed at a car wash twice, two different ones. One guy comes up to me and says he notices a crack in my windshield and would I like him to fill it for me so it doesn't get any worse. Talks all fancy explaining the process and product and says it'll only cost me $15. I thought he worked there and was just offering me an extra service. I decided to take him up on it. I agreed I didn't want the crack to spread. Shocker, he was not an employee, but worked for some company that had a deal with the wash so that they could hover around and pick on unsuspecting people with this service. Turns out it was $15 copay and they would bill the rest to my insurance. Like $200. I was a BV pissed. I luckily have a good relationship with my car insurance person and let her fight it, and she won, so I didn't have to pay any extra in the end. 2. My car is going through when an actual employee this time comes and finds me and mentions some weird substance on the side of my car. I had noticed it too. I think it was road paint tbh. He asked if I wanted them to clean it off for me. I was a little confused as I had brought my car here to be cleaned, so I said yeah. Guy nodded and walked away. They tried to slap on a $50 extra charge. I went full Karen, something I never do. I worked in retail all my life until they removed the charge. I really dislike car washes. Going full Karen is sometimes a necessity. Good on you for standing up for yourself. The good old get one meal free after purchasing a meal for the price of two. It's actually used where I live, and I'm like, people, how dumb are you? SMH. It's not exactly a scam because you aren't actually losing money. It just catches people's eyes and makes them more likely to buy it. Buying McAfee. Maybe not the biggest scam, but I'm going to pay you for insert item here that costs $700 with this check for $1,000 that my company gave me, which I'm endorsing over to you. In turn, you give me $300 cash and the item, and the check should clear in a day or two. Nice doing business with you, stranger from the internet. My wife fell for this scam trying to help a woman out. It was going on since the 80s and was how she lost her first paycheck at her minimum wage job. Was a learning experience, but still scummy to take advantage of a naive teenager. Unions are bad. Skinny teas and ethics diets. I mean, you might lose some water weight from diarrhea, at least. College source: went to college. One college I applied to wouldn't tell me how much my estimated financial aid package would be until after I registered for CLEs, which means I have to sign that I'm liable for non-refundable fees if I decide not to attend before I could even find out how much it would cost. What a racket. And this is a state certified college. No thanks. Scientology. This has been on my mind because of recent events, the George Floyd petition getting 11 million signatures, but Change.org Sure, they host petitions, but when you sign it comes up with "Do you want to chip in the price of a coffee for justice for Floyd?" and a rolling list of people who did. Many of the rolling list names are fake, and Change.org is a for-profit organization. You might at least some of your donations go toward the cause, but no, it all goes in the pockets of Change.org, and historically they've been super vague about what they spend it on. It's really lame. If you want to donate to anti-police brutality movements or anything else, use a GoFundMe or donate directly to a charity. It's honestly despicable. Change.org is a good indicator for the amount of people interested in changing something, and that's about it. The company could do a lot of good if the chip-in money went to the people who needed it, but I'm not sure they care. Subsidizing the restaurant industry with tips. They are not like other politicians. Senior photos. Parents will pay hundreds of dollars for a picture they can take themselves for free, and then even more money for photoshopped enhancements that take seconds to do. I disagree. I did senior portraits for people as a side gig in college, and getting good photos isn't as simple as point and shoot with a camera. You could take them on your phone, but they probably won't turn out that great because you don't have manual control over the camera settings, clarity, or focal length, and people don't think about things like lighting/composition. I do a half-hour to hour sessions, and I sort through all the photos for the best ones and color them. It's a decent amount of work per client. Yeah, touch-ups takes me like 5 seconds, but most people don't have or know how to use Photoshop. For some people, graduating is a big deal and they want to commemorate with nice photos, nicer than what they can do on their own, which is why they pay people like me who have those skills. But paying $100+ for a half-eat photo of you receiving your diploma on stage from the photo company the school hired? Nah. Hey, I got a hot tip on a stock. Exactly. Looking at any investing videos on YouTube opens up a whole world of that kind of thing. The American dream. For you have to be asleep to believe it. Getting a new phone every year for $1,200 to then use it for the same 5 apps that everyone uses, which run perfectly fine on $200 phones. You will come in 001 seconds. Zaka click for a virus. Nope, it was true. I cummed in 5 seconds watching background ads. Religion by far. Self-publishing. It's a vanity press with a new name. Everyone would love to get their name on a book, but instead of having to go through the process of finding a publisher who will sign you and pay you to print your books, they'll just have you fork over the money to get published. And then, the real fun starts. There's a book fair in City X, and every major book publisher is going to be there. It'll only cost you another $1,500 to have your books on the table. And a film studio might be interested. $5,000 to get them really interested. Oh, and this guy will interview you on the radio for $1,600. By the way, they won't sell your books. That's also your job. They're all scummy companies. Don't ever hand money over to Libris or any other self-publishing company. Your name might look nice in print, but it's going to cost you a lot more than you'll ever get from it. I successfully helped my dad self-publish a memoir without being scammed. The publisher was essentially a printer. We uploaded a PDF and paid about $4.00 per copy in quantities of 50 to 100 for a book with a $10 retail price. He did all the marketing, selling to local shops in small quantities for $6 each. He sold about 2,000 copies over a few years, and it was the highlight of his retirement. The publisher put the book in their online store and offered some editorial and marketing services for additional fees, but there were no pie-in-the-sky promises of fame and fortune, and there was no hard sell for these services. My dad was a great salesman all his life, so that was key. He had some lofty ideas about the book going viral, but did the hard marketing work himself and had a great time with what was essentially a hobby. It was the highlight of his retirement. That being said, the vanity publishers that collect thousands of dollars in advance and continue to upsell you until the well is dry are, indeed, scams. MLMs. Mary Kay, Amway, still can't believe people fall for them, and the recruiters are a joke. The Mormon Church has $100 billion despite being totally debunked over a century ago. Edit. More info. The whole religion is predicated under the notion that Joseph Smith Jr. was able to translate the reformed Egyptian on the plates. Now the plates themselves were, conveniently, lost, but we do have an example of the language itself thanks to the papyrus from which the Book of Abraham is supposed to have been translated from. Unfortunately for the church, we have the Rosetta Stone, which instead reveals said papyrus to have nothing to do with Abraham, instead being a pagan funeral rite. What this means in practice is that Joseph Smith did not have the ability to translate said reformed Egyptian and thus could not have translated the plates from which the Book of Mormon came. This leads us to a few possible avenues, none of which prevent the religion from being false. 1. He genuinely found plates, but was unable to translate them, and either made up the translation, or had delusions that he could. 2. The plates didn't exist, which is my personal belief due to his character. There was a guy called Moses, who pretended that he got a message from some god guy up on a mountain. I hear that was also not the truth. Probably will be buried, but had an older coworker who you just couldn't believe. Have many stories to tell, but this is just one for this thread. Coworker in his late 60s fell for dating app scams so many ducking times. These women always needed money for something and he obliged. Then when they'd come meet him something else would come up. He never talked to one of these women on the phone. Always text. Best excuse was she has a text only phone, so a beeper. No, a text only phone. Anyways, he sent one scammer for $500 Amazon gift cards during a shift. Another one got $500 transferred, said she lost it, then got another $500 and he called her stupid. Thought he was talking to a porn star and getting special pictures which he showed us. Other coworker looked her up and found that same picture on Google Images. Guy getting scammed, got mad, found the actual porn star and messaged her. Then demanded he gets actual special pics. She has no clue WTF he's talking about, since he's been talking to a scammer. Wire transferred insane amounts of money once a week. From $5,000, $7,000, Bank would say, sir, you're getting scammed. He'd tell him ducking send it, or he'd take his business elsewhere. Once he was finally broke and got nothing in return, he found out he was getting scammed and called the FBI, which reported it to our higher ups, which in turn got him fired for being a security risk. While we don't know the actual amounts, our best guess placed it somewhere between $50, $100, We told him he was being scammed for months before this point, saying that having kids is the most rewarding thing you can possibly do. Title loans / payday loans. Please, just ducking don't read the whole damn thing. If you're really desperate, I'd rather just eat rice and beans for a week. Or just go to a credit union / bank / whatever and get cash advance on a new credit card and pay that bitch off before a month goes by. You might duck up your credit if you don't pay, but you won't get your car taken. Religion. Trickle-down economics. Like most of the things they offer you when you get your vehicle's oil changed, the place I go to offers a free car wash with an oil change. If someone can scam me with a car wash, it'll be damned. Whole life insurance. Buy term, invest the rest. The only X amount of people / geniuses / etc. can solve. Share if you can do it. Posts on social media. Ultranationalism. Our motto is to protect and serve. Trickle-down economics. Two-party system. Donald Trump. I've been seeing a lot of ads for those ear candles that have been proven to be useless, yet for some reason still exist. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's ducking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.